Now, the British Touring Car Championship is back, and this time they're doing a Grand Prix circuit again. They are back at the Donington Park Grand Prix circuit. It's returned for a few years now, and ever since they took off the calendar, and they had a few Donington dates where they just used the national circuit. But obviously, this was a championship opener this year, and it was a qualifying race opener, of course, this year as well. But yeah, it's great to see them use the Grand Prix circuit, and it's just different variant, and different teams can sort of have their moment to shine, sort of thing. But a bit of news going into this weekend, talking about what happened at this very start of the season. Plato Racing have entered administration the day before recording here, which is a big shame. Hopefully they get found a buyer and everything, and it doesn't mean that they have to close up shop and just shut down, because that would be horrifically sad, especially with Plato. It's not even their first year yet. It just seems like they're literally doing a premiere of what they've done in IndyCar last year. But on the driver front, there has been some news where James Dorling will no longer see out the season of Restart Racing and will be replaced by fan favourite Dan Lloyd in the 123 car. Yes, it was a big surprise, and it just shows sort of like the financial status of the series, really, where myself, Nina, some other people that I've spoken to about this, it's not quite sustainable at the minute, and I think the qualifying race has got something to do with it, just because of the potential running costs as well. But we are back at the FIA Grade 2 track that is the British Touring Car Championships Donington Park Grand Prix track. It was originally opened actually in 1931, but it closed in 1940 for obvious reasons, and then it didn't reopen again until 1977, so they held it off for a long time. And yeah, it's currently known for obviously British touring cars, British GTs, TCR UKs, and even World Superbikes go there as well. But this was the former home for MotoGP and Formula One's European Grand Prix. My mind just instantly flashes back to the fantastic opening lap by Ayrton Senna in '93. That was fantastic. It came from 5th all the way to 1st. And that was just, yeah, that was iconic, that was. But it's a 12-turn circuit, it's 2.4 miles, and the race lap record is a 1 minute 17.707, set by Kimya Sato back in his Lola BO5152 in 2013 in a category known as Auto GP. I don't know anything about this category, but pretty cool, eh? And if you look back at what happened last year, Tom Chilton had the pole. The Virtue Man got the pole with a 1 minute 33.846. And Tom Chilton won the first race, and the Toms doubled up in the Virtue camp, as it was a Tom 1-2, Tom, as obviously Tom Chilton won, and Tom Ingram was second, and Dan Rowbottom claimed some Napa pride in third. And in race 2, it was a Napa that claimed the win in Dan Camish, where the then Virtue Man Adam Morgan got second place, and Gordon Shedden was third. However, Tom Ingram won the final race of the day, with Ash Sutton second and Dan Rowbottom getting another podium in third. But as we look at the point standings going into this weekend, it is Ash Sutton that leads on 327 points after the craziness of Not Kill and everything that happened. Sutton was always there, as he always is, just ever the consistent. And Tom Ingram is 81 points back, so if Sutton has his way, it could be decided even by Silverstone, which would be pretty mad. I hope not, mainly because of the fact that I will be there at Silverstone, but also because of the fact that it would really kill the vibe of the Brands Hatch Grand Prix weekend, and that's Championship weekend, it's finals day, it's all that kind of thing, and you really want it to be as sort of like a big momentous occasion, really. But Dan Camish is another Napa Ford guy. He is 94 points back, and is only 13 points back of Tom Ingram. So yes, it really is a battle for second, and it just is. So you just got to accept that at this stage of the game there. Ash Sutton has been way too consistent for everyone else, as well as Tom Ingram and Virtue have just been making their own mistakes as well. On top of everything, it's that when you're trying to beat a combination that's so locked in, like what Sutton and Napa Ford are, and you make a few mistakes too, they're bound to capitalise, and they're bound to sort of get an edge on you, and it's just spiraled over this year so much that we've got to this point. But yes, it will be quite interesting if Tom Ingram can get any points back. Obviously, he did kind of get a win here earlier in the year, but He then got DQ'd for ballast, I think it was. But yes, it will be quite fascinating to see, and really interesting to see the situation with the restart Hyundais and with Plato's, even though that is quite sad as well. But I'm fascinated to see where that goes to. So yeah, British Touring Car Championships back at Donington Park. But what is going to transpire this weekend? Because one thing for sure is I feel it's going to be quite a busy one with a lot of news.